my plane. Nah, we not the same. Drip, get fly like a plane. Icy mouth, Johnny Dane. Blue face Jubilee cause I bang. Cut the cardio with it with grain. It's a table inside of the range. Like a winner is out of your range.
Let me tell y'all this. The Utah Jazz will never, ever see the finals this decade. Ever. I promise you, bro. They will never touch the court. They might not even see the Western Conference Finals, if we're being honest. Because honestly, in the last couple of games, not only that, but what they've shown the last couple of years, it's basically showing me that they're not a serious team. Now, let me sit here and tell y'all why they will never, ever see the finals court ever this decade. I promise you they won't. But before I tell you guys that, go listen to Hoop Concessions podcast, best podcast out there. Also follow us on Instagram and follow us on Twitter, TikTok, all the social media sites. We are posting. We are the best podcast out there. I promise if you guys listen to it, you will unlock your third eye. But if you don't listen to it, you're unserious. Anyways, let me get on with my rant. As we all know, for the past couple of seasons, the Utah Jazz have been one of the most fraudulent teams in the NBA. They've blown a 3-1 lead. They've lost to a team without their best player. And they got embarrassed by the Rockets a couple years back. Embarrassing, right? I know. And this year, honestly, I thought shit would change. You know, I saw some changes. I saw some change in their offense. Saw that they were attacking the offensive glass more. Saw a lot of other stuff. But then they start reverting back to their old plays when the pressure is on them. In fourth quarters, they start to make simple mistakes. And I'm about to explain to you what these mistakes are. Keep in mind, this is not just the fourth quarter. I said that earlier, but this is just not just the fourth quarter. This is throughout the entire game. This is during runs. This is what causes their offense and defense to crumble. Number one, their biggest issue, right? Biggest issue. They rely too much on Rudy Gobert defensively. Now, if we all look in the NBA community, Gobert is put out as this meme. He's like, oh my gosh, how did he win all these defensive player of the years? Oh my gosh, how did he do this? How did he do that? Well, that's because he's possibly the only good defender on his team. Like, okay, I wouldn't go that far. He's not the only good defender on his team, but he's like carrying 80% of that Utah Jazz defense by himself. And to give a player like 70 to 80% of the defensive responsibilities is just flat out insane. And that's really, let's be real, that's what cost them so many series in the playoffs. If you look down their roster, you look at their starting lineup, right? Mike Conley, solid defender, but very undersized guard, right? Can be taken advantage if you want to, right? A guy like Donovan Mitchell, my main dude, bro. I love D-Mitch, but he don't play defense, although he has the tools to play defense, right? Royce O'Neal, 6'4", wing, right? Royce O'Neal's a good defender, but he is 6'4", and he's being asked to guard 6'10" niggas. Unfair, right? You got Booty Bogdanovich, bro. He's shown some stuff on ball, but he's very inconsistent and probably a negative defender. This dude is not good, right? So you have that in your starting lineup combined with that chucker and the nigga that plays no defense, Jordan Clarkson, along with Joe Ingles, who gets blown by on every turn, alongside Rudy Gay, who also gets blown by. What do you expect your defense to do? How do you give Gobert some defensive help, Utah? Because this is unacceptable. You know why in the playoffs they always fall off? It's because teams pull Gobert out of the paint. They don't pull him out of the paint because he can't guard the perimeter, by the way. I just want to let you guys know that. They do this because they know no one else on that team can guard their man. No one. Like, the situation that Gobert is in defensively is equivalent to, let's say, putting an offensive player around a bunch of non-shooters, a superstar. Keep that in mind. Putting a superstar offensive player around a bunch of non-shooters and telling him, hey man, create offense. Carry that offense. And then expect them to win a championship. Come on now. The Utah Jazz, It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable to what they do to Gobert on the defensive end. Unacceptable. Another reason why they'll suck and they'll never, ever see the finals court is because they don't feed Gobert. First off, I want to say this before I finish. I know it sounds like I'm meat riding Gobert, but in my opinion, I think Gobert is the key to all of this. And if they just treat him like a human being, right? They'd probably have a championship by now. But anyways, back to the feeding Gobert thing. I just watched them play the Lakers game where they went small. Gobert had his man pinned under the rim multiple times. And they didn't give him the ball. Instead, Jordan Clarkson contested 3. Instead, Donovan Mitchell stepped back, contested 3. Bogdanovich contested 3. Royce O'Neal contested 3. That's their offense. I understand, right? Gobert is not the most skilled player in the NBA. I understand that. But an unskilled Gobert seal where he has his man all the way under the rim, if you give him the ball, he'll basically turn around and dunk it or get a layup. That shot is better than any shot generated. That shot is damn near better than any other shot the Jazz can generate. Yet they continue to run contested 3 offense. And they expect to win a championship? It's the same thing that happened last year versus the Clippers. Everybody was blaming Gobert, talking about, the reason why, because he can't take advantage of guards on offense. No, that's not the case. That's not the case. They just don't feed him. They don't feed him. Gobert will seal. The man can't stay in the paint for 3 seconds, or you'll get a 3-second violation. He seals his man. They don't feed him the ball. He just goes to the block and waits for the shot to go up. Because that's the Jazz offense. That's what they do. Contested 3 offense. And mainly the dude I gotta call out, the 2 dudes, but mainly one dude, because he's a star. Donovan Mitchell. You gotta get better at that. I know everybody thinks Donovan Mitchell is this perfect player and he's not the problem. But I'll tell you this right now, he has a lot to do with the Jazz problems, right? He has a lot to. Because in big moments, when they need him to, you know what, facilitate a bit, give your big man the ball, make the right play, he doesn't know how to do it. He's still struggling to learn when to play make and when to be a scorer. He still struggles with those things. And it's killing the team, honestly. Like I said, for example, versus the Clippers, multiple possessions. When Gobert had mismatches on Clippers players, just give him the ball. Just give him the ball if he has him sealed all the way under the rim. Give him the ball. If you do that, the worst thing that can come out of it, even if he smokes a layup, which I'll be like, Gobert, that's very bad. But that's still a better shot than you taking a contested step back 3. If they fed Gobert like they should be feeding him, because keep in mind, this dude only gets 7 shots a game and he's averaging 16 points. 16 points. If they fed him the ball a bit more, he'd be a 22-10 guy, 22-15 guy with ease. But they keep treating him like a nobody on the offensive end, and that's why they keep losing. That's why they keep losing, and it kills me. It kills me, dog. But that's all I gotta say. That's my rant. That's why I don't think they are gonna win a championship anytime soon. I'm not worried about them in the West anymore. You know, I was trying to put faith in them this year, but they're not a problem at all. They're not a threat to anybody. They might be first round exits for all I care, man, because they keep doing the same stuff over and over again. And until Demas changes his ways, until the Utah Jazz get Rudy Gobert some help defensively, they'll never win a championship. They're never going to be any team in the West, because teams are going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. They're going to see, let's go small. And they're going to realize the Jazz team players, they're just not going to feed Gobert. They're not going to feed Gobert. And since he can't punish, I mean, I'll say this, you can't punish anybody if you don't have the ball. You can't punish anybody if you don't have the ball. And I understand you're going to be like, offensive rebounds. But if people are just chucking contested threes, those lead to long boards that Rudy Gobert can't reach. right? And it's going to be the same thing over and over again. Same cycle over and over again. Consistent embarrassment. And yet Gobert is going to continue to be blamed for it. Which is one thing I'll say. It's completely just unfair to blame Gobert for a lot of that Jazz problems. And I'll say this right now. Gobert is 100% worth all of the money that he was given. Because what he does for that Jazz team on both sides of the floor, along with taking all the blame for everybody's mistakes on that team, he's worth all that money. And I want fans who hate Rudy Gobert, I want y'all to sit down and actually watch him play. Actually watch what he does for that team and how he changes their ball club. Because without Gobert, I don't care. You can remove Donovan Mitchell from this team and they'd still be a 50-win team. You remove Gobert from this team, they're in the Chet sweepstakes. So I don't want to hear this stuff about D Mitch and stuff and Dick riding D Mitch. I already know he has all-time playoff performances, but Gobert is the best player on that team. And I'm telling you right now, free Gobert, man. Get him out of Utah right now, because he needs a team that actually respects him enough to get him some help on the defensive end. That's all I have to say. Your boy Weezy's out of here.
What they seem to be, but I know what they ain't. They toxic, super toxic. That bitch ain't angelic, boy, that bitch is so demonic. She in my life, thought that was my wife. My sister strapped up, but she's not a dyke. All I know is die 9 times.